Hi, I'm Millicent.
And I'm Keisha, and hello, welcome to the show.
Who does that?
Where we give stupidity the spotlight.
We enroll stupidity into the school of hard knocks, and we bring situations to your attention and put the question on your mind that came to our mind when we heard it.
Who does that? Let's take the situation to the red carpet.
Situation number one.
Situation number one. This week, situation number one is about your girlfriend breaks up with you because she found out you were cheating. After you call her everything but her mother named her and you storm out and leave, you have the nerve to try to give her some calls back, and she ignores your calls for a while, but she finally acknowledges your call and she sends you a text message to say, I'm on the phone with my grandmother. Now, you're so upset that you send her a text back and you say, F your grandmother, I hope she dies. And then 2 weeks later, you send her another text to say, why can't we be friends?
Who does that?
Really? Who does that? F your grandmother? How did Granny get in this? You were cheating on your girlfriend. She confronted you about that. Y'all broke up. Go away.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is my first time hearing this story. Let's see. FYI. If you're upset, do me a favor. Just shut up. Leave the room. Walk out. I mean, you will eventually regret some of the things that you say.
Yeah, the rule of thumb, I've gotten older and now I find out that don't let anger and emotions rule your tongue, because you are going to have to eat those words. But seriously, who says you hope a person dies because you're not answering their phone? And then why can't we be friends? After you said F my grandmother and you hope she dies? Really, dude? Who does that?
There's some wisdom that my mom told me when I was a child. She says when you're angry, the first thing you need to do is to be slow to speaking,
yes,
quick to hearing,
right,
and slow to anger. When you do those things, you don't say the wrong thing. It doesn't come out the wrong way. Sometimes it just takes walking away, getting your mind right so that you can clearly articulate your feelings and your concerns without bashing somebody's name down the ground or talking about somebody's grandmother
who has nothing to do with
Absolutely
it.
Stupid.
And the other thing is, okay, let's talk about the word remorseful and a contrite spirit. Dude, you're wrong. You got caught cheating. So with that being said, the way that you approach the person would probably be with a humility and an apologetic spirit, not with more hurt and more harmful things that you're going to do. You've already gotten in trouble because you were harmful and hurtful. Now you're going to fix it with being harmful and hurtful. When you wrong someone, you need to drop the pride, drop the ego, have the spirit of humility. If you want the lady back, please come back and say, I am sorry. Not F your grandmother, I hope she dies.
Well, you know what? Just the fact that he was calling her name first time around. Second time around is F your grandmother. Sounds like this is not the first time he's done that. He's had a pattern of this. And I'm telling y'all that R. Kelly's song is on point. When a woman's fed up,
yes,
it ain't nothing you can do about it. So you might want to just be careful of how you treat women, because it will come back to haunt you.
And my last point on the juvenile delinquency of your behavior, the name calling. Come on, grow up. Third grade calling your names. Look, people, when you get mad, people's name doesn't change. They don't go deaf. If they didn't have a miracle ear before you got mad, there's no point in screaming at them. Their name doesn't change. My name is still Keisha if you're mad at me. It'd be better if you call me that, because once it's over, this is a theory that I tell people. Anger is like a hurricane. It comes through, it tears up, but when it's gone, you've left with a big mess that you have to clean up. So you have to be mindful and watchful of the fact of how you react and behave when you're angry. Grow up, go somewhere and sit down, and then come back in the cool of the day when you guys maybe can discuss it.
And what I said last week still applies this week. That argument or that anger is not the end of your relationship, but if you say the wrong words, it actually might be.
So, dude, really?
Who does that? Okay, situation number two. Y'all gonna trip on this one. Okay, so a gentleman is clearly on a date with a prostitute. Trust me, it was a prostitute.
FYI, oxymoron, date and prostitute don't go together.
They don't go together.
Go ahead.
So he's making all these attempts to actually make it be like a date. He's at a nice seafood restaurant. He's ordered food for her. But for whatever reason, she has to keep going to the restroom. You know, she had to freshen up. So, because she had been on drugs. That girl was so skinny. She had been on drugs. So, she's going back and forth to the restroom. She's flirting with men along the way. You know, maybe getting some potential business for later on. And when I say she probably came back and forth 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, at least.
And so, he's getting upset because he's really trying to make a date out of this sexual transaction that he has set up. So, he gets upset. She goes to the restroom one final time.
The last straw.
When she comes back, she's found out that he has paid for his meal. He is paid for only his meal.
Only his meal.
And he has left the building. And now she is there with no ride, a tab that she has to pay, and she is crying, trying to call the police officer over. It was a mess.
Yeah, she's making a deal with the manager.
So again, point of the story is a man going on a date with a prostitute.
Who does that? Okay, mister, it's a prostitute. She didn't need a date. She already knew what was up when you got her in the car. And if you're going to bring someone of an escort service type business to a date, please get you a decent one from an upstanding company. Don't get the chick on the block that's already been out there all night long. And you can tell she's been out there all night long. She looked like she's been there all night long, and you're going to bring her on a date. And why are you upset that she is getting potential clients? This is a working girl. You two are on a business meeting and you don't even know it. She's just trying to get more business. This is her line of occupation. So you're getting upset and disappointed that you're a prostitute, didn't know how to act on a date that she probably ain't had in 30 years because she doesn't know how to date because she skips the meal and the salad and goes straight for the jugular. Come on, dude.
You know, everything about the situation is just all wrong. One,
let me put this in.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
And you call her the B word like it's gonna bother her.
I know.
That's her nickname. She looking at you like, okay, you know, you call me.
I know, right? I do this all day, all night.
Oh, you talking to me? What do you need, sir? You're not hurting her feelings. She's a prostitute.
I think it was the funny thing about the whole situation is when they walked in, we already knew what the situation was. I mean, she had the look and
She
feel
had
of
the
a
all night
prostitute.
long.
Yeah.
All night. She had it all over her like I beat this block all night.
Makeup caked on her face. She had the
Staggering.
her
She was
her
staggering.
wig. It was
Was
definitely
twisted.
a wig.
Twisted.
Blonde wig. She just looked a mess. Long fake eyelashes. Okay, I may be talking about some people I've seen at the mall, but she really did look a mess.
She looked a mess. But
And I'm with Keisha. She's a working woman. Hey, you can't even get mad at her for talking to the men. That's what she's trying to drum up more business. But again, you do not try to make a lifetime partner with someone who is strictly there for sexual reasons.
it goes back to what was that song? I'm in love with a stripper. I mean, and you get mad because she keeps stripping and you met her as a stripper. Some things you got to eat. You got to understand, you know, for you being disappointed that your date didn't go well, who does that?
You know, and I will say this. I'm going to put this disclaimer out there. I am not promoting prostitution in any way before I say this. But if you're wanting a date, you do need to upgrade to an escort service because she was strictly, like Keisha said, the chick on the block. Easily. I'm trying to figure out what block she was on, but she had to been on some block.
And I'm trying to figure out why you are upset with her that the date didn't go well when you picked a prostitute to have a date on. Dude, is your life that jacked up? That'll be another topic on another day.
And you know what, y'all? This was Memorial Day, so I bet you he was trying to bring in the holiday with a bang, but I don't think it worked out that way.
No, it didn't work out that way. So that's our situations for this week. That concludes what we're going to discuss on the red carpet this week. So join us for more situations that raise the question,
Who does that? And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Who Does That blog, and or email us at info@whodoesthatblog.com if you have additional stories that you want us to share on the show.
And until next time, please be paying attention to what you are doing or the people around you, because you might not ever know who's going to ask the question,
Who does that?
And it might be you.
Mm.
Peace.
Peace out, y'all.